Hello everyone and welcome to the brand new Gran Turismo 7 update 1.7, in which we got a lot of new cars and they are bloody lovely. First of all, we've got the Porsche 963. It's the 4.6 liter twin turbo V8 car that has got hybrid rear-wheel drive, and it does look really good, doesn't it? The next car we've got is the BMW M Hybrid V8. As you can tell from its name, it does have a V8. It's a 4 liter twin turbo V8 with a hybrid system, of course, as it is a hypercar from the WEC series. It also got hybrid rear-wheel drive, internal combustion engine and hybrid unit. We got the Peugeot 9X8 with a rather small engine, only 2.6 liters twin turbo V6 with, of course, a hybrid. Different to the others, it's got all-wheel drive. The combustion engine drives the rear and the front engine is the electric motor. And of course we got the Ferrari 499P with its 3 liter twin turbo V6 and of course a hybrid. It has all-wheel drive and it is one of the best looking Ferraris that, in my opinion, has ever raced. And of course we also got in this update the Porsche 911 Turbo S safety car. I don't exactly know why we were given it. I mean, they might just wanted to give us 5 cars, and it was easy for them because the Porsche 911 Turbo was already in the game. And so I thought that, what can we do with it? We got, of course, them all in the game. Why not? Instead of checking all the cars in at once, let's try and make let's call it a little Le Mans. I thought a 20-minute race would be nice, 20 cars. I could divide it into 4 groups perhaps, you know. And well, I started going through the settings. I thought, yeah, I can use Sophie. It would be a fun race with the Sophie AI. It's getting better and better each time they make an update. I thought, yeah, let's make custom weather. Let's make the time go as fast as possible, so maybe we will get from, you know, like afternoon to the night and then to the morning. And I thought, yes, let's take the cars from the garage. I had 20 cars in mind, so, you know, like 5 per group. And then, to my surprise, Sophie can't drive any car. She can only drive a selection of cars. So back to the drawing board, regular AI, and all the same settings as before. Of course, penalties, custom weather, afternoon, because the one starts at afternoon, and then the painstaking process of putting every car in its correct position. As you can see here in this very sped up video, I did put myself in P5, as I thought, you know, maybe I will be at the end of the hypercar class, so it will be a fun race. As it turns out, that was a mistake, so I went back, changed all the settings and decided to put myself at P20. And as you can see, immediately I thought, yes, let's start from the back, let's overtake all the cars at the beginning, it will be fun. I tried to be very cautious, and you can see, skill issue already, I crashed into the BMW in full. But after that, I decided I just went chasing after all the Group 4 cars, so 458 McLaren. I mean, the Ferrari is so fast in straight line that it's not even a competition. The Huracan and the Lexus had a little problem of their own, so I just overtook them down the inside. And then we got onto the Molson straight, already passing one of the new 3 cars, the Mustang. Of course, custom livery Mustang. McLaren, unfortunately we don't have the 720S McLaren that's currently racing, so I use the 650. Oh, look at how pretty this Ferrari is. Then I got the Mercedes. I went for the livery, I think it was from the beginning of this season, or maybe from last year Le Mans, I don't remember exactly. And now I set up after the newest addition to the Group 3 cars, the GT3 cars in this game, so the Porsche 911. I did put a very appropriate livery for it, so from this year's 2026 Le Mans, which is actually going on right now as I record this video. And then I could set off and try to chase after the Ferrari, that was the last of the GT3 cars. Of course, the second latest addition to the GT3 class in Gran Turismo. I tried to go down the inside, didn't work. Misjudged it, gave it a bit of a bump, and then overtook it. And I just decided to go after the much faster cars. So the Porsche, the Peugeot, the Toyota, which are added to this race because it is not from this update, but it still races in World Endurance Series, not in the form that we have in Gran Turismo, as we don't have the updated model from this year, but underneath it's still the same car, it just looks a bit different aerodynamically. As you can see, it is a lovely afternoon Le Mans. I'm driving the Ferrari Formula Monkey. It's one of my favorite race cars of all time. It did win Le Mans 3 years in a row. I don't think it will win it this year, as the balance of performance is not on their side. And for some reason Ferrari decided to, I don't know how to say it, switch their approach to this Ferrari. And instead of focusing on the straight line speed, they went for the cornering ability, which is not very well. It's not a good idea when it comes to Le Mans. But now, as you can see, we exited the corner and we're already in the back of the BMW M Hybrid V8. Great name, great car, sounds very nice, but not as well the Cadillac, and we don't have the Cadillac in the game yet. As you can see, we made quick work of the BMW and we set off after what I think is the Peugeot in front of me. Yeah, it is the Peugeot. As you can see, I put the fuel consumption and tire consumption to 10 times what it normally is, so we already have the warning that we don't have enough fuel. We only have 1 lap remaining, so I thought, yeah, okay, laps per stint. My soft tires will not fall off a cliff, so sure, why not? I just love this sequence of corners and look how beautiful this Ferrari looks. And songs, I must say, the sound of the Ferrari is very fun. It doesn't sound exactly like it sounds in real life. Gran Turismo is not, I mean, maybe it's not for you, but for me Gran Turismo was never that good with replicating car sounds. But other than that, the Ferrari is pretty sweet. As you can see, I must say it does drive very nicely from all the cars that I've tested from this new update. The Ferrari definitely handles the best for me. Maybe it's just my preference. I just like the car that it's a little bit slidey. Of course, it does have all-wheel drive with most of its power from the internal combustion engine going to the rear wheels, and electrical engines provide power to the front wheels. I think the split is like 70-30 or something like that. It is, you get the control of the all-wheel drive system, but you also get the, how do you say it? Maybe not sliders, but when you turn into the corner, you apply a little more gas than you should, and the rear end steps out a little bit, but it does make it easier to turn into the car, so it is something that I like in a car, so but it is not a very, it is really nice to drive, I must say. And for some reason the Porsche is dominating the leaderboards right now, but for me the Porsche is maybe not difficult to drive, but it's not as nice as the Ferrari. And compared to all the other cars, the Peugeot is not great. I mean, it does feel like a bolt sometimes, even though I don't think it's the heaviest of the lot, but it does feel a bit like a bolt in some corners. From what I see, all the cars have, when you put hard tires on all those cars, they do not like to take corners. But on soft tires and medium tires, the cars are great. As you can see, I'm running race soft tires, and also as you can see, I almost burned through pretty much all of them. But we did manage to catch the front two, the GR010 hybrid Toyota, and of course the Porsche is in front. The Porsche, it is the most, we got a little tap from the Toyota, we expect. Porsche is the most powerful car in this world. I did not take this corner very well. Of course the Toyota is catching up on me. From what I can see, and from what I played, both the Porsche and the Toyota and also Peugeot have a really good drive out of the corners, which is a bit surprising as only the Ferrari and the Peugeot are all-wheel drive. Both the BMW and the Porsche are hybrid rear-wheel drive. But somehow the AI just knows exactly how to control, especially the Porsche, so it does leave me behind in all the traction zones. As you can see, I'm also not very great at driving this Ferrari yet, so on most of the corners, most of the curves, I just take a little bit too much of the car, and the car is just unsettled. And as you can see, we got barely 0.2 of fuel left, so we do have to take our pit stop. We go right in behind the Porsche, and somehow you can't see it yet, but when I get out of the pits, I realize that I got 3-second penalty. I don't exactly know what for, because I didn't, at least in my opinion, I didn't leave the track. Perhaps me skipping over the curb was enough to warrant a penalty. And as you can see, all the other AI that drive in the hypercar class, same as me, they all went on mediums. I decided to go soft because softs were just enough for 2 laps. As you can see in the bottom left corner, my rear left tire is pretty much dead. And, well, we did our first pit stop on the race. And what I did not take into account is how slow the refueling process is, as you can see right here. I mean, the fuel percentage is going up, but it's so slow compared to, when you fire up online races or sport races in this game. From what I can see, the Porsche, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but look at how fast the Porsche fuel is going in compared to mine. I think that maybe it is just like that in the game, but, he's already finished. I'm now finished. Of course, the Toyota, of course, finished refueling faster, and as you can see, 3-second penalty for cutting across pit lanes, and I have to slow down. It's different than in the normal online racing, when you just get you will get slowed down on the next racing line, because this is custom racing. You have to slow down at your own convenience, if I say so. What it actually means is that you just have to figure out when will you slow down. And as you can see, I decided not to take it right away. I could have done it, but I think it would have lost much more time. We overtake the Toyota on the inside, and we set off after the Porsche, which is 2.5 seconds in front. I don't know what it is, but I think that in this game the AI do get how do we call it, rubber banding, I think it's what it's called. I think it's a bit weird that, at the beginning of the race, they are very fast. They usually pull away from you really quickly. Yeah, especially if you do that. And by that I mean crash into a wall, because why not? And as you can see in the traction zone, I stopped seeing the Porsche brake lights, because it has got so much more acceleration. Maybe it's so much better in the acceleration than me. But then, when we come to the brake zone, which we see right ahead, and he gets on the brake, I just gain so much time, because I don't know who coded those brake zones at Le Mans, but some of them I think are a bit too overprotective of you, so that, if you started braking where the brake lines start, then you would end up halfway down the braking zone and you would already be stopped. And sometimes even if you brake exactly when it starts, you just can't slow down for the life of you. And as you can see, we already overtook the Porsche, and now we are in P1 trying to stretch our advantage. I did decide to take the penalty here. And as you can see, not my greatest idea, as I have overtaken both the Porsche and the Toyota. But the Toyota wasn't much of an issue, since the Ferrari has got much better top speed in this configuration. If you're wondering, no, there is no tuning to these cars. I put them all stock into this race. I thought that, from my garage, I put them all on racing soft tires, because I thought, okay, maybe then we'll all start on the same tire. It turns out the AI will just do whatever it wants. They decided to go on mediums, so not the greatest choice on their side. I mean, if the tire fuel consumption would be a bit lower, so mediums would be much better choice, because you can do 3 laps on one type of fuel, but not here. And as you can see, now I decided to go into the interior view for a little while, and I must say the interior is very well done, but when you go into the corner, the amount of, when you turn the steering wheel, it just blocks your entire view of the road. Also the pillars in the car, the structural pillars on the front left, you can't see anything. If there is a left corner when you have to turn left, it will just hide behind the pillar, and I don't know how the actual Le Mans drivers do it. Also, look at the flames when you shift down in this car. I mean, it's so pretty and it's so good. And just listen to it. How good does this engine sound? I must say, I wish there was a tunnel at Le Mans that you can just put your car through. As you can see here, I finally got what I wanted to get from this race, and that's overtaking some back markers. When you typically do Le Mans, of course you catch the LMP2 cars, GT3 cars, and so on. It was fun overtaking them, but I must say I nearly crashed into the wall with that BMW. We go for our second stop, and here is when there is a little bit of trouble. As you can see, I was about 7.5 seconds ahead when I went to do the pit stop, but what I didn't take into account is that the time remaining of the race was just around 4 minutes 20 seconds, and I'm only at the beginning of my pit stop. I wasn't leaving my pit stop, I was only entering it. As you can see, of course, my tires are done, because they are soft, so they only do 2 laps and that's it. As you can see, at the rear left tire, it's at absolute 0. And as you can see, the time is still ticking down. It's below 4 minutes now, which means that, considering the fact that I still have to refuel, then it is my out lap, and I don't need a full 2 laps of fuel for it, right? Because I will only do 1 lap in the time remaining. And while I was driving, I must say I did not think of it. And as you can see, the AI already stopped refueling at 76% of fuel, then 81% of fuel, and I was still going because I was thinking, guys, there's a lot of time, we can have this lap and then the next. As it turns out, no, I was the stupid one here, and as you can see on the exit, I was overtaken both with the BMW and the Peugeot, who I did very nicely overtake immediately, also with the BMW and full safety car. So now the quest was very simple. Can we catch up the 12.5 second gap? If I can just remind you, I was 7.5 seconds ahead when I entered the pit stop. When I left the pit stop, I was 12.5 seconds behind. So that means my refueling for an extra lap, which I don't need. As you can see, there is a 2 minutes 45 until the grid. Then we get a penalty. As you can see, there is only 2.5 minutes left, so there's no possibility that I can manage to finish this time and start another before the timer runs out. We overtake the R35 Nissan safety car, so I have only a lap to catch both the Toyota and the Porsche, which is mighty quicker on this track. We overtake the Dodge Charger safety car, which I threw just for fun because it's a massive American safety car that does not have a place around the mall. As you can see, I'm already a second behind Toyota. I don't know what it is with coding of AI in this game, but when it comes to races, it doesn't really matter which difficulty you do. It's always like when the race is starting, the AI is very fast, they're very consistent, they pull away from you. But then you do a pit stop, maybe another pit stop, some faster lap, and suddenly when it comes to the end of the race, I think the AI are slowing down, even though, yes, they have fresh tires, yes, they have good fueling. Here the McLaren decided to kill me. I don't know why the McLaren just decided, yes, I will go on the left lane, even though I am the slower car and the blue flags are waving. I also love braking into this corner. You can do it so late. As you can see, I even started braking way too early and I had to correct myself mid-corner, mid-apex. And now we just set up after the Ferrari. I mean, look at it. We're only halfway through the lap and I already cut the gap that I had from 12.5 seconds to less than a second at this point. Here's the beautiful rear of the Porsche. I love that the rear light bar of the Porsche actually has the Porsche letters inside of it in the middle. I mean, I know you can see it on the video, but it does and it looks lovely. Also, the cars is so expensive in this game. I mean, when the update came out, I had to spend I think it was 12.5 million, because each of the Le Mans cars cost 300k, not 300k, 3 million per credits per each car. So you had to buy the Ferrari, the Porsche, the BMW and the Peugeot. And then there was the safety car, so I think, yeah, around 250, 300k credits. I mean, not that it's a problem for me, as I have spent quite a lot of time in this game and I have like more than 100 million in the bank, so not a problem. As you can see, I overtake the Porsche safety car, finally, the second time I saw it after overtaking at the start. And now we just cruise through the Porsche curves, then the W4 chicane, and it is a win for us. It was a very fun race. I recommend to anyone who does have all the cars, and you can even throw older Le Mans cars like the Toyota, I think it's TS 2000, something like that, the Nissan R95 CP, stuff like that. You can just throw it in and have really a lot of fun. I would also recommend to make the race a little longer. I went for 20 minutes and it ended right in the middle of the night. Fun fact that I realized, look at the fastest laps and position. Fastest lap was by the Huracan Group 4, which I'm assuming it didn't have to pit twice, that's why it did such a lap. And look, Huracan overtook two of the GT3 cars, the Mercedes and the Mustang, and the Turbo S safety car actually was faster than the McLaren 650S Group 4 car and the BMW M4 Group 4 car, which actually shows us that the safety car is really fast if it has to keep up with all the hypercars in Le Mans. So that's it for the new update. I think it's lovely. Thank you very much for watching, for tuning in, and see you in the next video. Peace.